Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Richie from Boston. It's the 23rd. It's July. It's the year 2025. That's what they tell us, and that's all we got to go on, so that's what we go with. But here we go. If this video doesn't explain to you why I've been trying to stress to you the actual biblical cosmology of this earth, the biblical cosmology that is clearly laid out in the King James Bible. And if you can't figure it out just from the biblical verses, this book, Confusion in the Cosmos, the companion book to Confusion in Christianity, explains it all and ties it. It's not a reinterpretation, like I've told you before, of the Bible. It simply states scientific, repeatable facts that you can prove with your own senses, and then backs it up with every single biblical verse. Best book in the world, plus I'm actually in this one, so that's kind of cool. At any rate, I've met up with another GoFundMe subscriber, and here's the deal. If you're one of the top 10 donators, shoot me an email. Help me out, okay? Because I did a poor job when I left Massachusetts. I didn't make a list like I should have. rjcjr10@yahoo.com. Just do me a favor. Tell me who you are. Send me a screenshot of your donation. Just help me out a little bit, will you? And I'll hook up with you and I'll come see you, like I said I would. At any rate, biblical cosmology. Why am I talking about it again? Because I can't stand listening to Flat Earth. The reason the Flat Earth is so important is because A, it's flat. And I didn't learn that from listening to people with British accents or Australian accents or people that sounded smart using really big, expensive words for no particular reason.
To disseminate about this pernicious imbalance.
Why you gotta use big words like that?
Anyone can utilize gargantuan idioms to fabricate intelligence. But the problem with big words is it means so little.
I laughed at it. And if you followed me since the beginning, you know that I've always had a telescope, astronomical binoculars, or a Nikon P900, 950, or 1000 pointed at the sky since I was 9. Okay? It's flat, period. And you have to understand the reason that they're pushing the globe Earth so bad is because they're going to do this. And we should be prepped for it because all the signs are there. Remember the mystery drones that were every place and the UAPs and the UFOs and every other thing? The government completely denies it my entire life. And then suddenly comes out, oh, yeah, Pentagon, military. These are all classified, but you can see them. That's all. It's all good. No worries. Nothing to see here. Well, now they're pulling this.
All right, let's turn now to a discovery not just out of this world, but out of the solar system. Astronomers are trying to gather information about a comet passing Earth, first discovered on July 1st near Jupiter, with scientists not knowing where it came from. Now, eventually, they figured out this object, now named Threeey Atlas, was an interstellar visitor. Astronomers in Hawaii have captured the first close-up image.
The third one was discovered on July 1st. 2025, this year, just a few weeks ago. There is a new interstellar object, at least a candidate at that time. That was just the night over which it was realized by a few amateur astronomers that indeed the Atlas survey, that's a telescope of 0.5 meter, which by coincidence discovered the third interstellar object, Threeey Atlas. The reason I said you should take a vacation before October 29th is if it happens not to be a comet. So if we don't see a cometary tail, that would be really intriguing. Irrespective of the trajectory, just the fact that it's a 20-kilometer object, it cannot be, there is not enough mass in rocks in interstellar space to give you a 20-kilometer object every decade. And what I'm saying is by orders of magnitude, I'm not talking about a factor of 2, orders of magnitude, several orders of magnitude off. The numbers just don't match. So if it's not a comet, it's really strange, and we should be worried about it being technological.
So here they go again. Even though the patent for the TR-3B has been around as long as I've been around, and maybe even longer, okay? These guys have been working on this. These guys have patented these things. These are not unusual. I've seen a TR-3B. I've had tons of people send me footage of the TR-3B. And if you want to build one and you've got the money and the materials, Here's the blueprint right here. But this is not new technology. This is not a new game. But you heard what he said. October 29th. If it's not a comet, it's a problem. 20 kilometers wide. Do you know how big 20 kilometers wide is? It's big. It's big. 20 kilometers is 20 miles. And they're saying there's no rocks that could be like that. There's no rocks because we're scientists. I mean, we couldn't tell you what all those drones were. You know what I mean? We didn't know that. We couldn't figure that one out. We can't tell you that they're spraying the sky. We can't tell you that there's a pandemic coming, but some asshole on YouTube with no front tooth can tell you 2 months prior. You know what I mean? We can't tell you that this mRNA vaccine is going to kill a heck of a lot more people than it's going to cure. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like it's the disease. Do you see what I'm saying? But it doesn't stop. It doesn't stop.
This is the first we saw of it, a mysterious interstellar object. It is only the third time we have detected an object that has come from beyond our solar system. As far away as the planet Jupiter, Threeey Atlas was discovered last week, and astronomers raced to identify it. Now they think they have.
This means that Threeey is almost certainly the oldest comet we have ever seen, by about 4 billion years.
Scientists from Oxford University presented their findings today at the Royal Astronomical Society meeting in Durham.
The discovery is really exciting. I've just finished my PhD where I spent 4 years predicting what the population of interstellar objects is going to look like. And for the first time in that time, we have new data to apply these predictions to and make comparisons and do some really interesting science with. So it's absolutely fantastic. Our range says that it's probably older than kind of 7 or 8 billion years. The Sun and the solar system and the Earth only formed about 4.5 billion years ago. So it could easily be twice as old as the planet we're stood on, the sun that's shining on me now, and every single other comet that we've seen so far.
These boys need to do this. They need to do this. They've been planning this for years and years and years. This is old information. This was published on 2012, which means it was done for at least 10 or 20 years. But I mean, this entire thing is completely crazy. Anything you see in the sky is man-made, period. I did a video years ago, and I couldn't help but notice that back in the 50s, every time they showed a UFO, it looked exactly like, I don't know where the pictures are here, but you see what I'm saying. I'm out in the middle of the woods. I cannot believe I'm pulling a signal, so it is what it is. But I did a video years ago, and I showed the UFOs they used to show back in the 50s looked exactly like the cars made back in the 50s. The UFOs you saw in the 80s started getting smoother and stealthier. So you're telling me that back in the 1950s, UFOs looked like hubcaps, and then they started looking like stealth bombers, and now they look like, well, I don't know, this thing right here. This is one of the items that got stuck in a tree during the East Coast 2 months worth of drones harassing and scaring the hell out of people, and the government wouldn't say one single word. I'll tell you what, I talked about this particular drone before. This is not your average drone whatsoever, because there's 2 circular balls on the bottom that are actually propelling this thing. And you can see whoever's controlling it or whatever's controlling it is trying to loosen it from the tree, because people have cameras on it right now. And if it's not one of the mystery drones, it's always the Pentagon sending us pictures of things like this. And the military's always chasing them around, or people are always seeing them, but they're just lights, because it's easier. It's just so much easier to say, look at these lights, they're moving in a coordinated pattern. It's definitely something that's controlled by intelligence. Yeah, they're called drones, or they're fallen entities, or there's something they opened up a portal and let out. But there is no going to outer space, okay? There is no going to outer space. If the elites could go to outer space, the entire Earth wouldn't be riddled with tax-payered underground bunkers absolutely everywhere, period. If they could go to space or go to the moon since I was born, they wouldn't need underground bunkers. They're lying to you. And I told you, space plays an enormous role in it, period. You know what I mean? Period. It always has, it always will. And most people will believe it, and I hope you aren't one of those. So understand, as ridiculous as this is, They've been pushing this, and you understand that. I know you know that. But now they're putting a date on it. They're talking about October 29th. By October 29th, we'll discover if it's a comet or not, and then all will be well, one way or the other. Because if it's aliens, it'll be great. It's the elites, period. They can definitely rain some things down. They can do some serious... I mean, I can't even imagine what they can do up there because, like I said, years ago when I first started investigating chemtrails, I found the patents. I can't do it right now. I'm having a hard enough time even uploading this because my the trees are very tall. It's hard for the Starlink to catch a signal. See my cable right there? See my cable? Right there going way off out into the woods. Starlink is as far away from the truck as I can get it. At any rate, they're going to do this. You should already know that. So that's that. But here's what I've been warning people about. I posted this on Twitter. I posted this on my Facebook whenever I can because it's tough to do. I was off grid in Montana for days and days on a row. It was awesome. It was actually pretty awesome. I met one of my subscribers. I went to his property. I want to do a whole video on it. I even interviewed him. His name's David Morgan from themorganreport.com. He's an OG. He's been on YouTube for a million years. And he said meeting me was one of the things that was on his bucket list. So I made him one of my first stops. I had to. So it is what it is. But check this out. I put an entire video up, or maybe 2 or 3 up on Jailbreak. All of them addressing Jeffrey Epstein list, Donald Trump and how he's turned on MAGA, etc. And there's a lot of other good information. You want to see some amazing stuff that'll blow your mind. This is my entire build. I show you how I build it, and I show you how the people that I had do the finishing touches absolutely, completely screwed me. And I've been to the Sage Wall in Montana. I finally went because one of my subscribers, who's actually the author of Confusion in Christianity, asked me to go. So for Miguel, I did so. But here's the deal. This stuff right here, you can watch these videos. It's pretty eye-opening, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Now that Trump has completely turned his back, some of the MAGA people aren't quite figuring it out, but some are, but they still don't get it. Trump is just saying, screw it. Billionaires literally just took over the biggest seat of power on earth, period, and they're running the show, and they're going to run the United States into the ground, which they're doing right now. But here is the problem. This is a warning. I'm telling you right now, this will happen in the next week or so. In order to get everybody to stop bothering Trump about the list that doesn't exist, it does exist, but it was completely made up. And anybody that listens to the list is it's just fake news. They're going to do an event. They're going to do a staged event, and it's going to have to be massive, enough to keep everybody's eyes away from Trump. They do this every single solitary time. Whenever there's a serious crisis in office, what do? They blow something up, they bomb somebody, or they kill a bunch of Americans, and people forget. Don't you forget. I told you this is going to happen, and it will. At any rate, here we go. It's getting ugly. Get it while you still can. And remember, rjcjr10@yahoo.com. Please don't everybody email me links to YouTube videos you think I want to watch, because I don't. I don't want that. If you donated, send me a screenshot if you're in the top 10. And then there's 8 more people I have to visit, 8. And after that, I'm going to do a list of all the people that donated and draw them randomly and go visit them as well. So there, as they say, is that. Links will be below. Be smart. Get your money out of the bank because you're going to just lose it. You're going to completely and utterly lose it. Turn it into gold and silver and have it sent to your house. At least, no matter what happens, they don't destroy everything and completely wipe out your life savings. At least you'll have it, because we don't know how this is going to work. We don't know how this is going to work. There might be a bunch of us left that still survive, and we'll have to deal with each other one way or the other. At any rate, Richie from Boston, and I'm out.